Yeah, so next up we have Joe Rickert from our studio, and he's also with the R Consortium. And he's going to supply the closing remarks to this, the first ever R and Pharma virtual conference. Take it away, Joe.
Hello, everyone. I am very pleased to be here. It's been a wonderful conference, and I'm very honored that the organizers asked me to provide these closing remarks. So what I'd like to do here is first, this is a small little deplier effort that I did last night. I managed to get a look at some of the registration data for the conference. And without running afoul of the GDPR, I think the small graph is revealing. It shows, and these are all minimum numbers, that there have been at least 27 pharma companies here, 30 universities, 8 companies that I classified as research, a few government agencies, and 80 other companies that didn't fit into any of those bins. So these would be hospitals and companies like data science companies, analytic companies, companies doing device development, that kind of thing. And I think it's significant because it shows the vast ecosystem around the pharma industry and interested in our pharma that were not able to participate in previous years. So in many ways, the accident of having to do this in a pandemic and adapt to a virtual conference has allowed us to broaden the participation in the community. So to all those other representatives from different companies who were not able to participate in the past, welcome. And I hope that in the future we can run conferences also that can be as inclusive as this. So here's my big picture take of what happened over the past few days, that what we're seeing here is the actual evolution of a vast, adaptive, complex system, a movement towards open science under constraints. So we have technological, financial, competitive, and regulatory constraints, but it's a movement that's driven from the base, from the actual working scientists and statisticians, also from the management of drug companies who have made clear signals that they want to participate in open source efforts and open science. So we're fortunate enough to get a glimpse of that through this conference. You can see how things have been evolving. Other way. This is my summary of the major themes of the conference. The talks were loosely categorized in these areas, and the overlapping circles or ellipses are meant to indicate the intersection of ideas and flow of information. So we've seen, for instance, a concentration on workflows, not only workflows in the scientific effort, but also production workflows and workflows that include communication. Visualization was really big at this conference. Lots of talk on visualization. And again, both at the scientific level, sophisticated talks on how we should be producing graphs, lots of talks on packages meant to do this, and then into the communication part and into the part of regulatory submissions. So we also saw talks on table construction and myriad ways where people are trying to collaborate. And that brings me to my next to last slide, this is how I've seen, it appears to me, what's happened over the past few years, and particularly what's going on at this conference. So you've seen talks evolve from people talking about how they're using common tools and collaborating and sharing to actually, sharing and cooperating to actually collaborating under a wide array of venues. So we have a number of efforts here at the R Consortium, where the R Validation Hub, for example, we saw several talks that talked about that. And you can see collaboration in other venues also in areas of statistical societies and working groups that are sharing their work and openly developing tools in the public. And where all this is going, it appears to me, is to the development of standards. In fact, we've several talks explicitly mentioned standards, both at the technical level within companies and also standards that are helpful towards facilitating intercompany work. And even the FDA talks were mentioned, standards were mentioned. So, most of these are attempts to create de facto standards that will enable collaboration under the constraints that I mentioned before. But I think there's some hope that maybe we could be moving in the future to de jure standards, proper standards that would really ease the way to regulatory submissions. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Where all of us who have participated here, we're able to get a view, I think, of the complex adaptive process in action. So you're the ones that could see some corner. We could all see some corner of this, depending on which talks we attended and the kind of work we're doing. And please, I think the thing to do to help with the advancement of the process is to talk it up with your colleagues at work. Try to even enrich your collaboration. And please don't leave out the senior management of your companies. Some of them are probably well informed. We have some pharma companies within the R Consortium. We're running these working groups. But I think it's up to us and the people actually doing the work in these areas to talk about, mechanisms for sharing and collaboration that can move your work forward. So with that, I would just like to thank again the organizers who did a fantastic job for producing this conference. And without minimizing the work of any of the people on the organizing team or the program committee, I think it's fair to point out that this conference would not have happened without Harvey Lieberman. So I'm officially declaring him the hero of Far Pharma 2020. So please thank all the organizers and thank you again for this opportunity to talk. I can take some questions if you'd like. I can't hear you, Ed.
Oh, forgot. Sorry. Hey, so which state are you in?
I'm in San Jose, California.
San Jose, California. I'm in Boston. Alice is in Washington. We're all over the place, aren't we? It's
yes,
amazing.
all over the world. I think the 26 countries involved in this conference. So we have a far reach now, and it'll be hard to give that up.